Welcome back to another show. It's been a long time, a couple months at
Uh-huh.
least, since I talked to you, Aaron, and we've done
Oh
something like
yeah.
this. I think this is episode number 7, and of Behind the Internet. My name is
Yep.
Jesse. I do field services in Washington, Missouri, among a bunch of other things. And you are?
I'm Aaron, and I'm currently down in the Joplin area, and I am the outside sales rep for our area. And of course, I go up to Simo area, which is like the Ozarks area. So I'm kind of back and forth right now, which is great.
Yeah,
So
you get to and you're good at what you do, and I hear a lot of awesome things, man. So,
I
uh,
just go do.
and anyway, so I'm glad that you are doing well, especially through these strange and troubled times that it seems
Yeah.
like we're slowly coming out of now. Now, for me, it doesn't seem like anything's changed except I got a lot busier being in the internet business and being essential, I suppose. So, just getting the internet to people out there, and this is our busy season, anyways, with all the leaves
Right.
blooming. So. Just been all over the place, but we wanted to get another show going just to see how everybody's doing and maybe discuss a few things that we've been doing and maybe how we've been handling some things and maybe go through some of the new shows that have been on TV and maybe some phone apps and we're just gonna throw some kind of do a little mixture today if that sounds good to you, Aaron.
Oh yeah, I mean we've been talking for a while, and I think you and I are both excited just to be back on the show after having a little 2 month break, and there's so much out there going on right now as far as like new things and the way things are changing towards technology, and we've always been going down that road, but it's like even more changes, and we know, it seems like I know my job's changed, it's gotten busier, and you know and a lot of people at home working from home that have really kind of needed a lot of help as far as technology altogether.
Right,
So
A lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Skype meetings, and then of course, doing our normal everyday thing, trying to keep this network going, and we got the storm season, so it's definitely been a challenge, but we've done it before, so we can handle. But anyway, so
yeah,
I just to kind of go off the cuff a little bit, yay. Uh, through these times where things are shut down, now a lot of the drive-throughs, I just want to talk about some drive-throughs because I've been through more drive-throughs in this last month and a half than I have probably combined in the last 5 years. Which, some people like to stay home. Well, I like to get out there and
which is
go through
good.
some drive-throughs and get some food. One of those being Taco Bell. They do a fantastic job over at Taco Bell. I've been eating a lot
Yes,
of chili cheese burritos. I don't know if you've been through the Taco Bell drive-through lately.
I have.
You
I
have?
have actually. Usually, I get stuck at the office working late, and well, after a certain time, there's not many options, and so Taco Bell's there, and yeah, so I've hit Taco Bell a couple times actually.
And now I don't know if they have one of these in your area, but I have to travel. I do a lot of traveling myself, like the Ozarks, so I go
Yeah, you
through Jeff
have.
City and stuff. But I tend to go off the path and I'll go visit Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
All
Man, they
right.
are the master at drive-throughs.
They are a well-oiled machine. So the first time I decided to go to Chick-fil-A, I drove out there and I swear it was probably like 300 to 400 yards of double cars next to each other, weaving in and out of the parking lot in like the Lowe's or Home Depot, just as far back as you can go. And people were doing it. Usually, if you see a big line like that, you drive on by
Oh yeah.
and I'd go somewhere else. But they're like, nope, doing it. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I was probably in and out of there in like 10 minutes. And while I was in that line, I could see, Wendy's, which I love. I could see a few other fast food restaurants with minimal people in there. People
Mhm.
do people do some things to get to some Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Um, yeah, Chick Fil A has always been the masters, and there's so many like restaurants all together that have never had a drive-through before, but man, they created one. And
Yeah.
I've enjoyed seeing the creative different ways they've done things, whether they're running things out. Yesterday, I saw a place, a coffee shop, actually down in Arkansas, that they took out an entire door that you would normally walk through to go get your coffee,
Huh.
and they made an entire, like, basically sealed it off, with the
Are you
glass and
saying
everything.
they removed a door so you don't have to touch anything to walk in?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah. So it was kind of one of those deals where it was they didn't remove the door, but it was still there, so they could close it, and this whole cart was on wheels. And
Yeah.
then they move it back, and like a portion of it was outside, so you have your pay app and all that stuff all right there, and then it's like, real nice and smooth operation, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And of course, they got another window that they run out to bring you your coffee to you,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
the creativity that's come out of this has been unbelievable, and people staying strong and doing what they can. I went and got one of the coolest parts that I've been telling people, like, what's one of the coolest parts to you? And this is kind of weird that it's forced me not to get a haircut. Right? So I'd be Johnny on the spot every month to get it trimmed down, and all of a sudden I've got an excuse to just let it go a little bit. I can't grow my hair like I used to in high school anymore, but it'd get a little shaggy in the back and growing out my mini mullets and stuff like that.
yes.
And just probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and my wife loves it too. She's like, yeah, I can touch her. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I scheduled one went because the place opened up, and it's the only time I've actually ever wore a mask. And I told her, I was like, instead of what we usually do, let's cut it just a little bit, but kind of make it look like I'm not getting a haircut because I kind of still want to look quarantined a little bit out there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But
Well,
yeah.
and I got my hair cut done, and I usually have to get my cut like every 2 weeks, because my hair grows fast, always has. Um, but it was like I didn't get my hair cut, for a couple months there, and so it was like Afro Tuesday when I woke up that morning, and the afro was all over the floor, and actually it looked good again. So that was pretty interesting. So it was
Yeah,
like, yeah, it was awesome. So
yeah,
yeah,
that
I was
is
happy to
awesome.
get that out of the way and get that done. So
You're right. And then
yeah,
and then one more thing, kind of off the cuff. I know we're supposed to be talking about TV shows and stuff today, but I also wanted to add in another creative thing that we've been using is the phone apps. And we can do a whole nother show on this, and we probably
oh
can.
yeah, we
But
should.
I've been utilizing phone apps. For example, I've got two, uh, Jimmy John's, where you just use your phone app and blah, 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 type in your order, and bam, they're there. It's all paid for. No one touches you. They don't have to touch you. They can even drop the stuff off, and then you get rewards. But I wanted to bring up the Sonic one, which I didn't know. So I haven't been going to Sonic for a while, and I got a coworker that loves him some Sonic, and anytime he's with me, he's like, "Hey, going to Sonic? You want a slushie?" So I've been drinking slushies like crazy lately. So Sonic has a happy hour between whatever time, 2 and 5 or whatever it is. But if you get the app on your phone, drinks are always half off, no matter when. So you order your drink.
Downloading.
Yeah, download it now. I'm serious. Order your drink. You can pay for it on your phone. You can tell them right away, or I'll be there in 5 minutes. Once you pull in, you say I'm here. You type in what number of drive-through you're in, 11, whatever it is, and then they'll bring it out to you. It's the easiest, most awesome thing ever.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm even double clicking right now. Boom.
Yeah,
Done.
get the Sonic, and then they'll give you like free things like popcorn chicks and stuff like that. So anyway, just the creativity and the apps, just the things that it's kind of forced you to look for and use, and just to kind of keep the economy going. It's been pretty awesome. Now I'm gonna go ahead and transition into
Yeah.
what we're going to discuss today, which is some of the streaming platforms. And one of the
This one.
things, yeah, one of the things that I haven't had a lot of time for, but I still do a little bit, is being at home and watching TV. So I'm gonna need your help on this a little bit.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need comments down below if you're watching. Um, you know, yeah, stick them out there for sure because we're curious what you're watching too,
Hmm.
and let us know if we mention a show. yeah, throw it out there like, oh, that was awesome. The new season of Ozark was awesome, and and let us know too. I'm kind of curious, because anymore there's so many cliffhangers. It's like, they know, especially like it like promotes you to binge watch because it's like, oh my gosh, that person just, whatever. I'm not even gonna say, but and it's like I gotta know. Is he still alive? What happened?
Right.
And it's like you end up like binge watching. So it's like, yeah, there's so much. So yeah, let us know what your favorite cliffhanger on what show has been. It could be, not even gonna say,
right,
like Ozark. I mean, what?
Sure. Well, since you mentioned Ozark, we can start with Netflix since that's usually one of the biggest ones, and this got endless content all the time. So they did. So Ozark did. That is one that I was able to watch with my wife and all the way through so far, with their new
we
series.
Can't give them away for the audience. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So no spoilers. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. So. Yeah, fantastic. That's been one of the fantastic shows, and it kind of hits home a little bit since we both the Ozarks are kind of directly in between where we live.
Yeah, we both go to the lake often.
Right.
We have service at the lake.
Always for work, never for pleasure, unfortunately for me. But and then there's been that little picture going around lately of things opening up a little bit. I don't know. I like 4 people sent me pictures of a pool at the Lake of the Ozarks. With people packed in with sardines,
I've been asked multiple times because I left that Friday.
Yeah.
Like, were you there for the big party? And I'm like, no, I left Friday, right? The day before.
I avoid pools before all this happened. So if I saw a pool with that many people in it, even half of that many people in it, I'd be like, I'm not even gonna go over there. So I'd rather go into a Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. I love Chuck E. Cheese, by the way. Good, great for the kids. Wish those things would open up.
Yes. So yeah, Ozark was awesome. I know they just finished their second season of it, and if you haven't watched it, you got to check it out. Great show. Another one that's on Netflix. I don't know if you've watched it much, but it was kind of one of those. At first, I got hooked on just because the actors in it. We had Jennifer Aniston and helped me out on the second co-star. But I remember she played Daphne in Scooby Doo years ago.
Oh, right.
Dead to Me. And if you haven't watched it, it's pretty creative. I'll tell you about the first season, but I'm not going to spoil it. But it's basically Jennifer Aniston's husband died. And
this one's called Dead to Me?
Dead to Me.
Is this Jennifer Aniston or Applegate?
Yeah.
Okay. Thankfully, you actually named another show that my wife watches, and whatever. Yes, I saw the first season, haven't seen the second season. That just came out. Yep.
Yes. Jennifer Aniston, Mrs. Applegate, forgive me if I get you too mixed up. So if you're watching our show, you could very well be. But awesome. Dead to Me was really cool. Definitely a lot of craziness that goes on throughout the show, and definitely talk about a lot of those cliffhangers in that show. It was pretty good.
Another show that I see my wife watching is one called Sabrina. Are you familiar with Sabrina? It's one of those kind of witch demon shows.
Is it kind of like a redo from?
I'm not. Yeah, probably. I'll watch it for a while, and I'm like, that's kind of cheesy, but she's into it, so that usually means I'm into it too. I know that's been a popular one that we've been getting a lot of hits on, and then I think the whole nation, maybe even the whole world, watched Tiger King, right?
Oh yeah. First I was like, I'm not watching that show, and then it was I think it was after our last show we were talking about it. Right. I was like, fine, I gotta check this out. It was like, I think it was the standard response from everybody is it was the craziness. Like, okay, did that seriously just happen? And like, okay, wait a minute, I'm got it, and it kind of hooks you in just because of
right. A lot of the words to use to describe the show are words that I can't say right now.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you
But you
get
can,
it,
but
you know
anybody
what
can
we're
say
saying.
those words in the comments if you want, right? Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm bad today. I'm bad today.
Yes. So yeah, Tiger King was obviously popular. Everybody's watched it. And then it was so popular that they even did a thing with Ryan Seacrest, and they did an extra show, basically where they're at now since the show.
Is
And
it
it
Ryan
is actually
Seacrest? Did
just,
they get him out of retirement?
uh, I don't know.
Is
Yeah.
it?
So
I,
my bad. Am I getting my
if
actor
anybody
wrong
knows
again?
who it is, I don't know if it's Seacrest, but if anybody
Okay.
know who it is, go ahead and pop that in the comments
Okay,
because
my
I
bad.
haven't seen it, but my wife keeps asking me, "Hey, we need to watch that follow up." I don't know if it was a
Ryan Seacrest is
was it a
watching us today.
TMZ thing? I don't know. We're just
Yeah.
we're just loads of correct information today.
Help. Help. Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, I mean, definitely go see it. That's the main thing.
What else do we have on Netflix? Anything else that pops in your mind? There's so much, and sometimes I get Joel McHale.
Yeah.
Joel
Okay.
McHale, yeah, amazing how we just thought of that at this very same time. Thank you,
I know, right?
Christina.
That was
Always
amazing.
behind the scenes, behind the glass, fact checking as we're doing things and making faces at us as we say wrong things. So I love it. Thank you.
We don't survive without our producer Christina.
Nope.
She does well for us.
That's right.
But hey, you
go
know
ahead.
some things about Disney Plus, right?
Yeah. Well,
101 Dalmatians is your favorite show so far.
Yeah, 101 Dalmatians. One of my, and they remade it so many times. No, I don't know nothing about 101 Dalmatians. There's a lot of puppies, a lot of dogs. I know there's a Dalmatians thing going on. My main thing in Disney Plus, especially when it first came out, was catching up on all the Star Wars stuff, trying to watch them fairly in order, and then The Mandalorian. I was extremely pleased with The Mandalorian.
That was really good.
Yeah, and the Baby Yoda. So I'm pumped to have that next season come out. I know they're working on it now, and I think it's supposed to be out in the next few months. But yeah, Disney Plus, endless content. What I really enjoy about Disney Plus is that you don't have to worry about your kids jumping in it for the most part and running into something that they probably shouldn't be seeing, which is not the case on a lot of Netflix things, HBO stuff, Stars, which we have, where all of a sudden you're watching something like, whoa, I'm closing the windows. so the
Right.
wonderful older lady across the street's not watching what's going on our TV. So
Yeah.
Disney Plus is great for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Disney, they do well kind of projecting what they see. Hulu, they came out. You use Hulu, don't you, Jesse?
I use a little bit of it.
I know one show I was watching, Good Girls. That was
Okay.
good. That was one. It makes it, yeah. Good Girls was a new show. They just had their season 2 that came out. That was a pretty good one. If you watched Ozark and liked it, you'll definitely like Good Girls.
Right, and I believe that's the one with the Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Is that correct on Hulu?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yes.
So. Right, and I think that's in our, and then that one's in our queue to watch here. I believe in June. I don't even know what month it is. April. Yeah, my calendar in here still says March. That's how seriously, Aaron.
We've been go.
That's how crazy it's been lately.
That's why we're co-hosts, because we just don't stop. So. Most all these shows will be coming out in June. So
June, very good. All right.
Now a cool one, and kind of bring us back to one of the other things that we were going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Just got launched yesterday, and that was HBO Max. So now HBO Max is another service you can subscribe to. $14.99 a month. They do have a trial going on right now, but obviously, they're owned by AT&T.
I did not know that.
Well, and they are So if you have AT&T TV, you can actually get the HBO Max with that as well. And there's a few other ways, like, it's one of those things you'll have to kind of look up. It's a 7-day trial, by the way, that you can get. And some of the things, like if you're already an HBO subscriber, you'll still probably have to do the HBO Max, I believe. But there could be a way where you could just do HBO Max altogether. And I think they do kind of come back.
I would think you'd probably get all the same content. Now, I hear that's a great service as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got that wrong. Man, I'm getting it all wrong today.
No, that's why we're here.
Yeah, if you're already an HBO subscriber, you do get HBO Max. I was saying that because I actually read 2 different articles that were a little bit going back and forth. And it also includes all of HBO's originals as well.
Right. So, and I believe one of those originals would be one like Westworld.
Yes, and actually, I've got it here on my screen. I'm gonna go back here and just double check.
Right, I'm an HBO fan. I've got the HBO in the family, so we stream some things on there, and Westworld is one of those good shows. There's one that we just finished. I think yesterday, my wife and I called. I always called it Outlander. That's the Star show that she loves. It's called The Outsider. It's a Stephen King thing. So if you're into Stephen King, he's got one called The Outsider that's on there. It's a mystery, a little bit twisted, but not completely like magic stuff. So it's pretty cool, and it's got the main actor that's in Ozark. I can't remember his name. Bateman, is that right?
Yes,
Bateman?
Jason.
Right, he is one of the characters in that show, and I definitely recommend watching that if you're into some Stephen King type stuff. So,
and he's been busy here lately with all the shows he's been doing. So,
well, yeah, I don't think he's probably not that busy because he's not working with Whisper, my man.
I know.
I'll show you busy.
Right now, but yeah, a few of those HBO originals, and help me out with some of these. Love Life, I'm not familiar with that one. Looney Tune. Man, I can't say that. I've only said it when I was a little kid, apparently. Looney Tune cartoons, Legendary.
Okay.
And then On the Record, I'm not familiar with this other one.
Right.
And all coming out this week.
Right.
And it was officially launching yesterday.
Right.
I was actually trying to see how many subscribers that they already at, but they haven't put that information out yet that I've seen so far. Because I was kind of curious, if it was like, a big day, like 500,000 downloads right off the bat. I'm sure a lot of it is probably hard to count because, there's so much that comes out with it with the AT&T TV.
Yeah, and when these numbers do come out, I'm always curious to see how it stacks up when Disney Plus launched, because that was
huge.
That was insane.
A lot. Yes.
Yeah, that was insane. That's like the benchmark right there with subscribers. So I don't know if that'll ever be matched, but yeah.
Because we even talked about HBO Max even in our first episode, talking about the streaming services, but it hadn't came out yet. So, and they probably were. I think that was a smart move on their part. Let all the other ones come out because there were so many coming out all at the same time, and then here comes HBO Max. Thinking, hey, probably when you watch all those shows, hey, we're coming out with HBO Max with more content.
Sure.
Well, I think it was a smart move.
It's something that I know personally. I signed up for YouTube TV recently, and it's pretty good. It's got a huge channel lineup. It's got some YouTube originals too. I don't know if you're into or watched the. And I don't think this is just on YouTube TV, but the Michael Jordan The Last Dance. Have you heard about that or seen it? It's a whole 10-part documentary, and that was right in my wheelhouse. I was in high school in 96, 95, 94. Yep. So I was all Michael Jordan. So was my wife. So we both watched all 10 episodes on that. I just used the YouTube TV platform to watch those. So that was for sports fans out there, and if you haven't dug into that one yet. That was really cool. And since there hasn't been any sports going on whatsoever, they launched that thing at the most perfect time. They even did it early just because.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a huge ratings thing because hey, there's no sports going on. Let's watch The Last Dance. So I definitely recommend watching that.
Yeah.
Um, and so you kind of get some of the inside scoop on those Michael Jordan years. And the whole team with that. But yeah, YouTube TV's been pretty good just for local channels and things like that. Um, TBS, ABC, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to touch up on that a little bit. That I've enjoyed that it's got DVR where you can record things. But I'm going to need your help with this next one because I didn't even know it was happening until someone mentioned it when I was doing an
Oh
install
yeah, I know what you're
yesterday.
going to say.
Is the whole SpaceX thing. Now I know about SpaceX. I just didn't know we were
Yes.
launching.
Yeah, so NASA and SpaceX obviously teamed up to do a launch, and actually they have not put a man, and I didn't realize this, have not put a man in space for over a decade, and so they're going to launch two yesterday, and the at the very last minute, I mean, like pretty much right at the 15-minute mark, between 20 and 15-minute mark, they had to scrub the launch because of weather.
Oh,
And so weather was a big factor. Not only in watching it, it was really interesting because they were talking about all the safety features of the new shuttle. And even if there was something happened tragically, that the astronauts could eject out of it immediately. And that was part of why they had to scrub it, because if for some reason something happened and they ejected, they had to be able to see where they went.
right.
And with the cloud cover, and they had C-17 airplanes on standby that were going to launch. And obviously, the purpose there was they had paratroopers that were going to jump out of the airplane to make sure the astronauts was ejected out of the pod and survived. So there were so many safety features that went into it. So they had to, and weather was obviously a huge issue. So they're looking at doing it again on Saturday, and
Okay,
believe
so
it or
so
not, I'm watching it on NASA.gov.
so what you're saying is it didn't happen. This is news to me.
Yeah, it
This
did
is
not
how
happen.
this is how much I know. This
Yeah,
is how much I
yeah. Now we got to catch you up, just like I
Thank
ain't caught
you.
up on actors apparently. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it did not launch, but it was really exciting. I mean, it started like I woke up early that morning, and it was already on my Facebook, as far as the articles going, and they were. It was interesting even to watch it. Obviously, it was more than just the launch itself, but they went into the history of SpaceX. They went into a lot of the NASA history, and there was so much about their suits, how they redesigned everything, to even like the 3D printed helmets that they have that will protect them in
Huh.
space.
Yeah.
And so they don't have to have the big bulky suits that we traditionally always saw an astronaut in. The suits have actually gone down. Even going to the shuttle, they got out. They were in Teslas and being delivered to the shuttle and in Teslas. The There's certain little things. Obviously, you're a tower climber. I'm, as well. It was interesting to me because it was on a 200-foot tower, and if there was an emergency, the people on the tower could actually jump into these pods and a zip line down to a safe location. I was obviously nerded out on it. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool to me as far as all the things going on with it. And it was years into the making. And,
Well, what
it
what I
just,
love what I love is it's safety first, which it absolutely should be.
yes.
And what else I like is that they've been preparing for this a long time, and there was a ton of buildup, and everybody's watching and ready for this to happen, and they had the wherewithal to be like, you know what, the weather just isn't quite right. We're going to shut it down, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. When in
And
doubt, shut it down.
and that's really a common thing, I think, because obviously there's so many different windows as far as, because they're going up to the space station. Obviously they got to time it just right for the space station to be aligned with the shuttle during the launch, and they even described as the distance from Cape Canaveral, Florida would be like the distance to Washington, D.C. to get to the space station. I thought that was kind of interesting too. So kind of put that in a little bit of perspective there. And so it was kind of neat to hear all the different facts about it. So yeah, and I guess it's real common, back to your question, it was like real common for even years for them to delay a launch because of weather.
Right.
And because you can't always factor the weather. That's the one thing you can't control.
That's right.
So, but you can control the timing on everything else except the weather.
No, I'm glad you informed me and us about this, because I would have been out and about today here in a little bit saying, hey, did you see the launch? People will be like, yeah, okay, good. So
wait
good.
Till Saturday.
Right. Well, I'm good. It's a weekend, and maybe I won't be working. I'll be able to see that. So that's pretty awesome. So what else do we have? Are we missing anything? Oh, there's another thing I wanted to mention.
Oh, yeah, bring it up.
So obviously, tons of platforms you can watch TV on, and one of those is YouTube. You know, you can stream YouTube content until in 18 of my lifetimes. One thing, you may have heard of it, and it's been out for a couple of years now, I think, that my wife and I have been watching lately, and I love it, and it is hilarious. It's a show called Hot Ones. Have you heard of or seen Hot Ones?
No.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit about it because Yes. Okay. So this dude named Sean, he's an absolute genius, just a normal everyday looking guy. Okay. And I don't even know how he got into this gig, and I'm gonna research and look it up. But he interviews people. Name somebody he's probably interviewed. People from Shaquille O'Neal, Ashton Kutcher, rappers, Kevin Hart, the comedian. I mean, the list is endless. He's probably done about 175 to 200 of these now. Yep. And it's real simple. He lines up 10 chicken wings or vegetarian ones or whatever the other person will eat, okay? And it goes from, just a basic wing until all of a sudden, you probably need to go to the hospital at the very end for eating this thing, okay? So he will, and they do this amazing research and asking these questions, because the person that's getting interviewed, they get comfortable right away, and they're like, wow, that's a really cool question, to ask. And so they have this conversation, but he'll ask the question after they're both eating these. They'll both eat a wing and put it away, and then the next one, both eat a wing, and it's about the middle stage when, like, Ashton Kutcher or whoever it is, their eyes are watering, or their face is red, or their nose is just snotting all over the place.
Right.
Or they're like, I can't even hear you right now. I can't even hear the question. They're just looking around and they're grabbing for stuff. And it's one of the coolest natural things. It takes the person being interviewed out of their element a little bit and gives them a little bit of pain. And it gets just this natural, carnal, true answers or whatever, and you can see someone just dying. It's so funny. I'll sit there and I'll be laughing, I'll be crying, and some of these people love hot stuff, and then some of these people, they'll ask, like, so do you do hot spice? Like, nope, never done it before. And it's just real interesting to see how well people handle the hot sauces and how hot these things are, and do an interview at the same time. It's got me.
That's pretty creative.
Right, it's called Hot Ones, and I think it's one of the coolest things I've found or seen. One of my daughter's boyfriend brought it on to me, so that's endless. Anyways, I just want to bring that one up. If anybody out there is looking for something to watch and loves interviews and actors and stuff like that, so it's great.
Yeah. Well, I think we've really talked about quite a bit today, and
right.
Yeah,
we were all over the place a little bit, and that's fine. I kind of like that natural, off the script kind of thing, and it's good to get back in the scene. And we're gonna have these. We're gonna try to get
you
these.
Had a script?
Maybe. We're gonna have these. We're gonna try to get back in a normal groove the third Thursday of every month.
Yeah.
And if anybody out there is watching, has an idea of what you want to talk about, we can do our research. We got some people on top of these things. We like seeing each other, Aaron. I love seeing you.
Oh yeah, likewise.
Christina, love seeing you and love talking about things and informing. And I get informed every time we do this too. So.
Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, and it's like now customers ask me questions about streaming,
Oh yeah.
different streaming services, and I actually point them back to our show even sometimes, and like, oh man, if you do this, this, and this, and it's like, yeah, it's created another wealth of information that, and I like spreading that as well.
You got it. Well, let's wrap this up. Thanks again. It's great being back in the seat. Aaron, it's good seeing you. As always, behind the scenes, fact checking us while we're doing it. Christina, she makes all the things happen. And we will see everybody next time. Thanks a lot. Stay safe out there.
Yes, likewise. See you guys later.